This is my first match defending the beautiful Inter-Commonwealth MCW Championship. Do you want to touch that? Nope, you can't touch that. That's mine.
We are here at the Essendon Ukrainian Hall for MCW Tensions Rising.
I mean, every time someone steps in the ring with me, it's probably their dream match. They're getting to wrestle the best in the business, and that's what I am. I am the business. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. It's going to be an easy win, just like every other match.
I feel like our job is to have everyone at least forget about their problems just for 10 minutes whilst they watch us in the ring. Like, if I can do that for someone, then that's great.
As soon as I got my license, my parents said to me, as soon as you get your license, you can do what you like. So I got my license and I went straight to wrestling training. And I never looked back since, never.
I'm not particularly religious, but I do pray before every match because we're putting our bodies on the line, you know. So you have to be mentally there. Like, whatever bullshit you have outside, you have to leave it because you're looking after someone else's life in that ring as well. Like, they're putting their body in your hands, so you have to make sure you're mentally there.
You pick up someone's life in your hands. That's how I see it. And like they got to go to work on Monday, most of them, or they got the kids to attend to. They got a wife. You know, you don't want to hurt them.
Fans are going to witness one of the biggest shows in MCW history. You know, time and time again, we keep proving ourselves over and over again. One thing's for sure, MCW Ballroom Brawl, you can guarantee that business is booming.
Indeed, the great Tojo has come in from Japan. You're going to see him on television, but the big news, of course, is there's a war match into the referee's hole. Straight away, it's Abdullah coming down with headbutts right on the forehead of Mark.
Professional wrestling was always something that was a big thing in Melbourne, especially in the 70s and 80s with World Championship Wrestling on Channel 9. Once the cricket took over on that, once they decided they didn't want wrestling anymore, that then sort of meant that it faded off into the background a little bit. So it was always something that was kind of there, but not necessarily, you know, at the forefront of anyone's mind, certainly not for a night out. So you kind of really had to know about it in order to be able to go along and check out a show, since there was no mainstream advertising or publicity anymore. Melbourne City Wrestling started because I felt there was a lack of good quality professional wrestling in Melbourne. There were a bunch of companies around at the time, but none of them seemed to be living up to their full potential. So it would be shows run in front of 200 people in a high school gym somewhere out in the suburbs, and I just felt that it could be more than that. Ballroom Brawl is our biggest event every year. It's essentially our version of a WrestleMania style show. That's the culmination of a year's worth of storylines, and then we also start building up to the new calendar year, so to speak. It's weird looking at how far Melbourne City Wrestling has grown. It's one of these things where today we're doing this interview outside Etihad Stadium on Good Friday. It will be a huge bumper crowd. It's one of these things where football is now in the mainstream conscious. Fans everywhere will flock to AFL, much like they used to with World Championship Wrestling back in the 70s and 80s. And it's one of these things where, for us, there's no saying that one day maybe we can't try and get independent wrestling back to that sort of level.
When you're in the ring picking up someone that's half your weight, or if it's your weight or double the weight, you gotta be able to pick them up and slam them and safely drop them on their head.
You need to look the part because we're athletes. We need to look different to someone in the crowd. That's why we're in the ring and they're on the other side of the guardrail.
My hands are full of calluses from the deadlifts that I do and stuff, but you've got to turn your whole body into a callus. That's the best way to think of it, because if you're not a callus, then you're going to have this body part hurting, that body part hurting, just from taking a simple bump. And you don't want that.
For so long, even when I was growing up watching WWE or watching the local shows, there would either be one women's match on a show or no women's match on a show. Now it's becoming more so that the women are like the men. Women aren't just an attraction on the show, we're just wrestlers. Ballroom Brawl will be the show to watch for people that don't know about wrestling, and it will make you fall in love with wrestling. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it's going to be amazing.
Me being in the Ballroom Brawl Rumble, this is a big thing for me, and I need to win it, because if I win this Rumble, then I will be the #1 contender for the MCW Heavyweight Championship.
So, this is the Thornbury Theatre, where we've been running for pretty much since day one. We use it for our bigger events. We've run more events this year than we have any other year at this venue, which is a good sign of where things are going. But if you trace things all the way back to day one, this room is where it all started. Down here, in fact, I'm sure if we go back, we will see what is left behind from many years. The fact that we started off down here and realised really quickly, hey, there's a huge room up there that we can fill, which we're now doing pretty consistently 4, 5, 6 times a year, then yeah, that shows that the demand is there, and hopefully we've been doing the right things in order to keep people interested coming back and bringing their friends.
It's so cool to see wrestling in Australia actually like starting to come up now. It's like on fire right now.
Best time to be a wrestling fan in Australia at the moment. There's just so much going on here. It's awesome.
The crowds are always really good at Ballroom Brawl. I mean, they're good like always, but at Ballroom Brawl, it's just absolutely insane. It's so electric.
So I got German suplexed and I landed directly on my head. There's a video of it online. My body literally flipped over itself. I remember everything went black. I heard ringing, and then I came to, and then I was getting beaten up again. And I was like, what is happening? And then I remember after the match, because you got the adrenaline running through you, so you don't feel any pain. As soon as the adrenaline wore off, I was like, fuck, like I can't feel my neck. Like everything was burning. I haven't got it checked out. All wrestlers are terrible at that sort of stuff. We never get checked out. We just hope that it heals over. We get told to wrestle when hurt, not injured. But it's hard for a wrestler to know when they're not injured because we have quite a high pain threshold, so we're not sure when we're hurt. I remember I tore my trapezius muscle completely off the bone and I was still wrestling, which is ridiculous. To any normal person, they would be, you know, they would go get that checked out or go to surgery or something.
Oh, smash with his own fist! Oh my goodness! What an upside this young man has. The champion. Oh well. Australian wrestling, and she's been proving it night and he's done it here to take on the business in a champion. Oh! That was the blind spot. DDT off the springboard. Oh, the clothesline by Dunn, and both men are... Tonight was one of the biggest matches I've ever had. I left it all on the line. I did everything I could. But tonight, I came up short. To get a packed house, a sold out crowd, giving you the respect, and hey, the respect I deserve. Feel good moment, great, everyone goes home happy, great match, amazing. Hey, I still lost. I've got to live with that. I've got to sleep tonight. I've got to wake up tomorrow. Yeah, and I've got to look at myself in the mirror and realise that I can be better. I know I can be better. Hey, I know I can be better, and I'll prove why I am the best.
You talk about contenders. Look at him, like a rag doll. One half of our tag. Oh! Too strong. And, oh, he made that one mistake! Oh my God!
Weighing in tonight at 65 kilos, this is,
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I was having a drink of water there trying to catch my breath. He can't control nothing. He can't do nothing.
Okay, I went for a second one. And, oh!
At the moment, the adrenaline hasn't worn off, so I feel absolutely fine. But I know within about maybe 10 minutes from now, I'm going to start feeling all the aches and pains. But I mean, I feel pretty good. I've still got all my limbs, so that's always a plus.
Do you feel it the next morning?
Yes. As soon as I wake up, I can feel it. Usually like stiffness more than anything, like you get out of bed and you feel like an 80-year-old woman, and I'm like, that's not normal. So yeah, it's usually in the morning that you feel it, and then you feel it throughout the week. And then as soon as you heal, you have to wrestle again. You know, I'm not into like pain medication or anything like that, so like all the old wrestlers and all that shit. But yeah, no, you just kind of just go with it and just deal with it. It's a part of what we do, you know.
Tonight's been a great success. Like, it's a packed venue. We've got over 600 fans here, and we've just put on one of the biggest shows with so many great talent from all over the world. At the end of the night, our guys once again prove that they can hang with the very best in the world. We're just going to keep grinding, and we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep trying to grow the profile of Australian wrestling, but specifically Melbourne City Wrestling. Bigger and better things, that's all we're looking to do.
The final three is a big thing for such a prestigious rumble, the Ballroom Brawl rumble. I believe I was robbed by the crowd in how disrespectful they were to me. Sometimes you might have one of those matches where you not fail, but essentially don't feel like you performed good enough. But if you don't have those matches, then you can't then critique yourself and then want to improve, because without failure, you can't grow. And that's what you don't want, because if you grow a big head, you're going to think you're the best, and you're really not.
After the match, it's weird, like you look at your opponent that you just had the match with and you still kind of hate them, because that's how you feel out there, like you feel like you genuinely hate the people. So then when you come backstage and you have to be like, oh hey, how are ya? It's always like a weird sort of like tension, but like that'll wear off after a few minutes. But that's because, you know, you really get into the character and you channel that, and you can be wrestling your best friend out there, but when you're out there, you hate them. Like it becomes real almost, so yeah.
I think my second match that I had here, something just clicked, and like I gained all this confidence. And I think tonight was one of those moments again where I gained a bit of confidence and intensity, and you could probably see that in the match. Here at MCW, I'm just waiting for what's next. I don't know what's to come. You'll have to come to the next show and see, because I don't even know what's happening. This year I want to get more experience, Australia-wide and worldwide.
I'll be wrestling every weekend, once a month for MCW, but in November I'm going to be heading over to Germany and Europe and do a tour of that. See how long I can stay there. Quit my job 2 days ago, so free agent. I'm just going to go and do it. You know, I've been doing this almost 10 years now, and I'm 24, which is ridiculous. I feel like if I don't do it now, I'm going to regret it, so I'm just going to have to give it my all. And I know, I don't like to talk myself up or anything, but I know I'm good at this, so there's nothing else that I want to do, so it'd be silly not to give it a go.
I want to reach to the top, whether it's here at MCW or on a worldwide level. I want to get to the top. That's what I'm all about. It's what I live and breathe every single day. Professional wrestling.